How much money is being siphoned out of your super for services you don't want and don't use? 7:30 has obtained new research detailing for the first time how many people are paying for financial advice they've never received. It numbers in the millions, and collectively people are paying billions of dollars each year. For financial advisors, it's money for nothing, but the industry's involved in some intense political lobbying to stop reforms designed to address the situation. Stephen Long reports.
It was back in 1950 when newlyweds Tom and Betty Uren moved into a small bungalow at Parkdale in suburban Melbourne.
Can you remember when we first settled and moved in here 60 years ago?
Yes, I can.
Tom was a chippy, a good one. He built their modest home, ran his own building firm and lived the ups and downs of the boom-bust cycle.
2 crashes in the financial world in a couple of years made me feel quite nervous. It's a fear, I would say, a fear. Not a fear of the fact that you've lost some money, but a fear that you've lost control of your life.
So Tom sold the business, got a secure job and spent decades building a retirement nest egg, only to find it eroded by fees.
The costs were extreme, I felt. Our annual costs for fees and commissions and whatever was $34,000.
A third of that was going to a financial planner, but at least Tom Uren knew. Plenty of people have no idea. A report by Roy Morgan Research highlights the scale of the problem. 61% of people it surveyed had never even spoken to a financial planner, and almost 3/4 of retail fund members had little or no contact with a financial planner, despite paying ongoing fees and commissions for advice. The industry super network analysed those figures and estimates that, conservatively, there are 5 million funds with nearly 2.2 million members paying fees and commissions year after year for financial advice they never receive. It's a trap, even for the financially savvy.
Never got financial advice and, to the best of my knowledge, never met the financial advisor.
Terry Collins is CEO of the Institute of Credit Management. For decades, he was unaware that a financial planner was taking a monthly cut of his compulsory super.
I wasn't aware at all that these trailer fees existed and that they were going to somebody I didn't even know about. It was only shown as admin fees. There was no financial advice fee identified as such. I had no need of financial advice, and so I was obviously paying for something that I didn't need, didn't want.
But even when working people into these deals knowingly, they often don't understand the terms.
I took it for granted. I thought these people were giving me financial advice, and as it turned out, they weren't. These 2 people were salesmen. They were selling me a product.
John Byrne is a building worker, nearly 65 years old. He spoke to us recently about the volatile financial markets and his retirement savings. Years ago, he fell for the pressure tactics from slick financial salesmen.
There was a flyer in my local RSL that there was some people coming. I went along to the seminar. What they said made sense, so I pursued it.
How it works is like we do this all the time. You'll make money, you'll double your money in 2 years.
Sounds good, right?
Maximum 3 years.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, sounds good, yeah.
He was charged $1,000 to set up the new super fund, got no ongoing advice, and the promised returns never came.
And what used to annoy me was when I got every 3 months I got the report, there was these trailing commissions. And when I inquired about them, I realised that these were forever. These were ongoing things. No matter what happened, they got their money first.
Proposed new laws are designed to put a stop to this. For the first time, they'll impose a duty on financial planners to act in the client's best interest, ban trailing commissions that give the salesman an ongoing cut of people's super, and make financial planners get a signed agreement every 2 years if they want to keep charging someone for advice, a practice known as opting in. But the new laws won't apply to millions of existing accounts and fund members, only to new ones. And the passage of the laws is not guaranteed, with the Financial Planners Association fighting a rearguard action against the opt-in requirement.
Nowhere else in the world are consumers forced to renegotiate their contract with their financial advisor every year or every 2 years. It shouldn't be to a government to interfere in the contract that a client has with their professional. I mean, that's just taking legislation too far.
Mark RANTELL says there's no need to make financial planners renew their agreements with people every 2 years because under the plan reforms, most workers will have their money in default super funds with low costs and low fees.
I would say, Stephen, it's a piece of redundant legislation that's overkill, that's putting red tape in the way of clients dealing with their financial planners. It's an extra burden that consumers don't need to bear.
Independents Bob Catter and Rob Oakeshott are apparently backing the FPA, so the government's laws are in jeopardy. But not all financial planners agree with the powerful industry lobby.
It's been a gravy train for too long.
Renee Curry is a poacher-turned-gamekeeper who's made it his business to expose the fees frenzy.
Look, it's clearly wrong. And I think what the government's looking to do with the opt-in situation is a good idea. I think the concern for most planners is that they've got all these clients that they never see, never provide any advice to, and they're concerned that an opt-in is going to be fairly difficult because those clients aren't going to opt in and they're going to lose all that income.
With his help, Tom and Betty Uren have cut their fees to a fraction of the tens of thousands they used to pay.
I find that obscene. I think $35,000, and he showed us that for the last 5 years, his return's been a zero to even nearly negative 1%, and they're still drawing $35,000 a year. You've got to ask, what are they doing for the $35,000?
Have you have a sense of how much money came out of your retirement savings in the form of fees over that period of years?
No, I've never bothered to go all the way back, and it's the sum that I don't think I ought to ever do.
The fee stream for the financial advice industry can be quantified. It's more than $2 billion a year.
Stephen Long reporting.